June 28th Revelation, a betrayal you didn't see is affecting your future. Archangel Michael says God is speaking about your daughter. My dear child, Archangel Michael has a message for you today, so please don't skip this video. This message was written in the silence of heaven before it ever touched your eyes. It was whispered in the wind by Archangel Michael, carried through time, through tears, through unseen warfare, and now, on the 26th of June, it arrives in front of you, not as coincidence, but as confirmation. You were meant to see this. Not just for your sake, but for your daughter's future. Something is unfolding behind the scenes. Something that was hidden from your sight, but not from your spirit. That unsettling feeling you've been carrying? That quiet ache? That pause in your soul when you look at her and wonder if she's safe, if she's truly understood, if she's being watched over, that is not paranoia. That is discernment. Heaven has been trying to get your attention. God has been speaking about your daughter. And today, Archangel Michael has been cleared to reveal what's been blocking her growth. A betrayal that didn't touch your body, but pierced your bloodline. Someone you once trusted, someone you allowed near, someone who smiled in your face and placed a heavy word over your family when you weren't watching, spoke something in secret. They spoke from jealousy. They spoke from control. And unknowingly, you opened a door to their influence. They didn't just target you. They marked her. Not with violence, not with obvious harm, but with a seed. A seed of insecurity. A whisper that she is not enough. A suggestion that her light is too much. A quiet curse that has been replaying in her mind, shaping her fears, taming her voice, interrupting her joy. You didn't see it happen. But heaven did. And today, God is asking you to do something rare, something holy, something powerful. Stand between your daughter and that word. Reverse it. Renounce it. Cancel it. Because she may not yet have the language to name it. But you do. You are her spiritual shield. You are her divine cover. And no one prays for her like you do. That is why you are being trusted with this revelation now. Archangel Michael is not here to bring fear, he is here to bring clarity. He is showing you the moment it happened, the day she came home quieter than usual. The time she started doubting herself without explanation. The shift in her eyes, her tone, her posture. That wasn't just growing up. That was the impact of a word spoken behind her back but heard by her spirit. And now, heaven is calling for a reversal. This is not the end of her story. This is the beginning of her awakening. God is about to restore what was stolen from her confidence, from her destiny, from her sense of divine identity. But He's doing it through you. Through your awareness. Through your obedience. Through your willingness to see beyond what's visible and believe that something bigger is being birthed. Your daughter's future is not at risk, it's being refined. The betrayal that tried to stop her will now be used as fuel to launch her. But heaven needs your agreement, your voice, your intercession. Stand in the gap. Call her name in prayer. Remind her who she is, not what the world said, but what God has always said: she is chosen. She is covered. She is called. And she is unstoppable. She doesn't need to know all the spiritual warfare happening around her. She only needs to see that she is safe when you're near. That your love is still her home. That her tears are not inconvenient. That her dreams are not too big. She needs to feel, without you even saying it, that someone is fighting for her when she doesn't know how to fight for herself. This is that fight. This is that message. This is the moment heaven chose to trust you with the truth. Because her future is still on schedule. Her voice is still being shaped. Her blessing has not been cancelled. And the enemy is panicking because he realizes, you just found out. She doesn't speak of it often, but it lingers in her silence. It lives in her pause when she's asked how she's doing. It shows up in the way she second-guesses her own joy, like she's not sure if she's allowed to have it. It hides in her laughter, that soft kind of laugh that used to fill rooms but now fades faster than it should. That's not just her growing. That's her carrying something she didn't choose. And heaven has been watching. Archangel Michael has stood guard many nights at the edge of her bed, whispering truth over her while she sleeps. Declaring light over her mind while the weight of unspoken expectations tries to settle on her chest. There have been nights where you didn't know why she woke up so heavy. It wasn't just school. It wasn't just stress. It was spiritual interference. And the reason this message has come today is because God is done letting her carry what wasn't hers to begin with. A spiritual betrayal doesn't always look like someone taking something away. It often looks like someone placing something on. Someone in your circle projected their fears onto her. Their insecurities. Their silent competition. And they did it in a way that seemed harmless, even loving. But heaven saw it for what it was, a distraction sent to delay her divine momentum. She may not know how to describe it, but her spirit has felt it. She's been shrinking to make others comfortable. She's been downplaying her brilliance because someone close once called it too much. She's been editing her dreams because someone who never dreamed big told her to be realistic. And now, the angels of heaven are rising in unity to correct what was never God's will. This is not about blame. This is about breakthrough. This is about you realizing that your daughter is not confused, she's sensitive. And that sensitivity is a gift. That spiritual awareness is not weakness, it's wisdom. And while others misunderstood her, God has been preparing her. Archangel Michael has stood behind her like a silent warrior, brushing back every spiritual dart, clearing the atmosphere when she couldn't find words, whispering to God on her behalf, saying, "This one is chosen." Don't let her be buried under the voices of people who never saw her fully. And now, you are being awakened to the assignment of restoration. God is saying, "My child, this is not just a warning, it's a window. A window to step in and realign her path. A window to bless her with words you never got to hear yourself. A window to pour into her identity before the world tries to shape it for her. Because what you speak into her now will echo for decades. She doesn't need a savior, she has one. But she needs someone who will be a mirror. Someone who will hold up truth when the lies try to return. Someone who will remind her that she doesn't have to become someone else to be loved deeply. You are that someone. Archangel Michael is showing you now a moment from her future. A scene where she stands boldly, confident, clear, radiant. And in that moment, she doesn't look like someone who was betrayed. She looks like someone who overcame. And the reason she stood that tall wasn't just her strength, it was yours. It was the day you chose to open this message. The day you chose to see what heaven had been trying to show. The day you stopped wondering if something was wrong, and started declaring what was right. She is not broken. She is being rebuilt. And in this rebuilding, something holy is happening, not just for her, but for you. Because as you pray for her, you begin to heal parts of yourself. As you cover her, heaven starts covering wounds you never named. And in this exchange, a generational curse is being reversed. A new chapter is being written, and it starts today, with you, with her, with God, and with Archangel Michael standing over your house, sword drawn, declaring, "This home is protected. This girl is chosen. And this family will not fall apart, it will rise." There is a sacred hush over your house right now. Heaven has ordered silence in certain rooms, not because you've done something wrong, but because God is revealing something deep, something ancient, something generational that needed to be broken not just for your daughter's sake but for your entire bloodline. Do you remember the moments you felt unseen as a child? The times you swallowed pain so someone else could feel comfortable? The days when you questioned your worth but smiled anyway? Those weren't just memories. They were seeds. And now those same seeds were trying to grow in your daughter's soil. But not anymore. Archangel Michael has drawn the line. The cycle ends with you. Because God said enough. Enough hiding. Enough surviving. Enough being silent about what hurts. This daughter of yours is not a repetition, she is a redemption. She is the prophecy you never had the voice to declare. And now she stands at the edge of her own story, waiting for the wind to shift. This is where the shift begins. The betrayal you didn't see. It was emotional. It was subtle. It was dressed in concern and wrapped in tradition. Someone you once respected questioned her behind your back. Questioned her attitude. Questioned her direction. Said things like, "She's too sensitive, too soft, too wild, too stubborn," and while they said it with a smile, the spiritual realm heard it as sabotage. Words carry weight. And their words weren't just comments, they were curses. Spoken carelessly. Received silently. And she's been carrying the echo of those comments like bricks on her chest, trying to breathe beneath the weight of someone else's opinion. But today, heaven is breaking the sound barrier. Archangel Michael says, "Speak louder than their doubt. Speak life over her name. Speak healing over her footsteps. Speak protection over her room. Speak identity over her soul. Because she is not who they said she is. She is who God has always known her to be, a voice, not an echo. A storm, not a shadow. A temple, not a target. A miracle, not a mistake. You were never meant to raise her in fear. You were meant to raise her in fire. The kind of fire that lights up dark rooms. The kind of fire that warms cold places. The kind of fire that burns off generational chains. And this fire can only grow when you fuel it with faith. She doesn't need to be fixed. She needs to be seen. Fully. Deeply. Tenderly. Truthfully. And the greatest act of spiritual warfare you can offer her now is to remind her that no matter what was said about her behind closed doors, heaven never stopped calling her chosen. God is not finished with her story. In fact, this moment, this message, this revelation is the beginning of something you didn't know you were allowed to hope for, a healed version of her. A brighter version. A fearless version. And she will look at you one day with eyes filled with quiet gratitude. Not because you gave her a perfect life, but because you fought for her spirit when no one else saw the battle. You stood between her and the lie. You stood up when others stayed silent. You listened when heaven spoke. And now, the blessing that was delayed is about to be delivered. Your daughter is about to rise from emotional silence into divine sound. She is about to break the mold someone tried to trap her in. And the tears she cried in secret are about to become the testimony that sets other girls free. But for now, she just needs you to trust this message. To take her hand, whether physically or spiritually. To look her in the eyes, even if she doesn't understand, and say, "You are not what they called you. You are everything God called you to be." Because those words, those are healing. That voice, that's deliverance. And that love, that's protection. There is something she hasn't said aloud, not because she doesn't trust you, but because she doesn't yet know how to explain the weight she feels in her chest when everything around her seems normal. It's the heaviness of being different in a world that celebrates copies. It's the pain of sensing what others don't acknowledge. It's the quiet ache of a soul that hears what heaven whispers while being surrounded by noise. Your daughter, she carries something sacred. Something rare. And the enemy saw it before even she did. That's why the betrayal came. Not to ruin her, but to reroute her. To make her doubt herself. To blur the purity of her inner voice. But Archangel Michael was assigned to her before her first breath. And today he's not just standing, he's weeping. Not from fear. From intercession. Because what you're reading now is not just for information, it is activation. It is a divine announcement that her life will no longer be lived beneath the veil of what others projected onto her. This betrayal was never about what was taken from her, it was about what someone tried to steal from you. Your confidence as a guide. Your intuition as a parent. Someone wanted you to question her, but also question yourself. And that's where the wound tried to fester, in the doubt. But heaven is sending clarity like a flood. You are not a failure. You are not too late. You didn't miss the sign. You are right on time. Because this message is not random. It is the evidence that God still trusts you with the future of this precious soul. There is something she has been chosen to do, and you are the one chosen to protect it. She will love differently. She will see deeper. She will build what others only talk about. But to do that, she needs covering, not control. She needs someone who won't just tell her who she is, but remind her when she forgets. Because yes, she will face resistance. Yes, she will outgrow people. Yes, there will be days she wonders if she's too much for the world. But your voice, anchored in heaven, will be the lighthouse when her path seems foggy. You don't have to have all the answers. You just need to remain available, present, listening. Because God is speaking through her tears. Through her dreams. Through the way she isolates when she's overwhelmed. These are not coincidences. They are clues. And now that you've opened this message, your discernment is being sharpened. You will begin to see what you used to overlook. You will hear what you once dismissed as small. You will notice the shift in her voice when something is off. Because heaven has trusted you with insight, prophetic insight. And you will not waste it. Archangel Michael says, prepare the atmosphere. Not with perfection. With presence. Speak peace into the walls of your home. Declare identity over her future. Say out loud the truth heaven is echoing, you are not lost. You are not too far gone. You are not what they said. You are loved, chosen, protected, called. And just like that, the chain breaks. The chain of emotional confusion. The chain of insecurity passed down in silence. The chain of abandonment, even when people stayed physically close but spiritually far. That chain ends with this message. And from here on, your daughter will walk lighter. Because your words are becoming armor. Your love is becoming her strength. Your presence is becoming her healing. And as for the betrayal, let heaven handle it. God saw it. Michael documented it. And divine justice doesn't miss a name. This is the part where the pain gets rewritten into power. This is the moment where her tears become anointed oil. This is the hour where your house becomes holy ground. This is the part where heaven leans in closer. Where the room you're in begins to shift in silence. Where the spiritual atmosphere becomes tender, because God isn't just watching anymore. He's moving. He's stepping into the heart of your daughter's story and rewriting what shame tried to scribble across her future. A betrayal once whispered her name in dishonor, but heaven now echoes it with reverence. That betrayal may have shaped a chapter, but it will never define the whole book. Your daughter was not born to survive lies. She was born to expose truth. And even now, while she may feel unseen, misunderstood, or even emotionally distant, God is doing something behind the scenes of her spirit that words cannot explain. He is restoring the parts of her that the world tried to label as too much. He is softening the places that had to harden too soon. He is releasing healing in the places where silence became a shield. And He is using you, yes, you, as the vessel to carry this divine intervention into her life. There is a sacred assignment on your shoulders now. Not to force, not to fix, not to fear, but to feel. To be so present with her in the spirit that even when she speaks in fragments, you hear her full. To look at her not as someone who needs to be changed, but as someone who is in the process of becoming everything God ever dreamed. The world will not always understand her softness. It may label her strength as rebellion. But you, her protector, her spiritual compass, her earthly covering, you will know better. Because heaven has revealed it to you. Archangel Michael is not just speaking today, he's mourning over every word spoken against her that you never even knew existed. Every comment spoken behind her back. Every dismissal of her spirit. Every misreading of her sensitivity. He saw it. And now, He is here to deliver this heavenly truth. She will not be ruined by their words. She will be raised by my promise. What was meant to wound her soul will now refine her calling. What was whispered to discourage her will now serve as fuel for her strength. And the one who betrayed you, the one who sowed the quiet seed of doubt around her name, they will be revealed in due time, not by your vengeance, but by God's light. This isn't about revenge. This is about release. And now, God wants to release you too. Release you from the guilt of not seeing it sooner. Release you from the ache of not being able to protect her every time. Release you from the silent question, did I fail her? Because God says no. You didn't fail her, you're the reason she's still spiritually alive. You didn't abandon her, you're the reason she's still fighting. You didn't ignore her, you're the only one who truly sees her. Now that heaven has opened this window of revelation, you are being given divine strategy. The words you say from now on will hit deeper. The prayers you pray from now on will shake stronger. And the love you carry from now on will speak louder than the pain others tried to bury her under. This is no longer just parenting. This is prophetic partnership. You and heaven, raising a destiny together. Archangel Michael says, she is more than potential, she is prophecy. And every lie spoken over her must bow to the truth that flows from your lips. Speak now. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't wait for her to ask. Don't wait for clarity. Speak now, while her heart is still searching for safety. Speak now, while her identity is still being shaped. Speak now, because your voice is anointed to untangle what the betrayal tried to twist. Your daughter's future is not fragile, it's fierce. Her silence is not weakness, it's wisdom gathering strength. Her tears are not signs of failure, they're holy waters of transformation. And you? You are not just her parent. You are her prophet. Her warrior. Her mirror of heaven's love. She is watching you more than you know. Even in quiet moments. Even in silence. And what she sees now will shape what she becomes next.